YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be on the steps I've taken to become a surrogate. My first step is research. I did a lot of research. It took me about 3 months to get all the research I needed, and then after I researched and felt comfortable with this agency that I am going to be going through, it is in Los Angeles. And I don't live out there, but I do fly out there, or I do drive out there. I have flown out there once so far to get medically checked, like my uterus, my ovaries, my blood work, to make sure I'm immune to a lot of things, make sure my iron is up, my vitamin D is up, just to make sure everything's looking good for the transfer later on. So I did get medically cleared, but we'll get into that a little bit. So after the research, I did go and I had a phone call meeting for an hour to an hour and a half. They asked me questions. If I'm married, how many children do I have? Or they born, full born? If I had any surgeries, if I had a C-section, a vaginal, how old I am, my weight, my height, and things like that. And then after that phone call, then they do email you 2 forms. One form is for a background check, so you fill that out, you send it back in. They do a background check on you and your spouse if you are married, which in this case I am married, so they did one on me and my husband. The second form is for my medical records. So I get my medical, I fill the form out, I send it back to them. They give my medical clinic a call or an email, and then they send over all my medical records to make sure everything I've said and the questions went. I had the proof for that. And then after those steps, you will get another phone call, and they'll go more into detail and more into questioning about why you want to become a surrogate, what I am and not okay with. So for instance, they asked me how many embryos would I be okay with transferring into me, like transferring in my body, and I was okay with 3 in an 18-month period. So I would get the first one, and if that didn't lead into a pregnancy, then I would go ahead and take and transfer in another one. So I would do that 3 times if none of them took, and then the intended parents and us and I will talk about the next steps after that and see where we would want to do, if we would want to just not go ahead and proceed anymore, or if we want to keep trying. The next steps is after that, they'll ask you a little more questions. If you're okay with the same sex, a straight couple, a single person to have a baby for, and I was okay with all of that. They do ask a lot of questions, like what would I be okay with, what, just to get matched up, because they're putting all this information into a profile that they're making for you. So that's the next steps, is profiling. So they put a profile together with all the questions that they've asked me and I've answered, and then they go and after they send me an email or a text message where I can go ahead and send pictures to them to put in my profile. So they would like 8 to 10 pictures of you, your family, when you were pregnant, just different pictures of you and your family. And then from there, they will start sharing your profile. So the IPs, which stands for intended parents, will go through a bunch of profiles, and then they'll pick you. And then when they pick you, what they do is they'll send me the IP's profile to my email, and I will go through their profile, and then I will say, yes, this sounds like a perfect couple. I would love to give them a baby or help them make a family. Because us surrogates, we do have a say into who we decide to help with the family. So we do get to decide that. From there, we'll have a video chat meeting. So that would be with me the intended parents, and then my intended parents are from China, so we did have to have a translator. She does speak some English, but again, they don't speak a lot of English. So we did have a translator, and we asked each other questions. We got to know each other. One of her main questions was if I was okay and if I knew that I had to take shots throughout the pregnancy. And like I said, I have researched it and everything, and I'm willing to go through the shots, the emotional. I'm willing to go through all of the changes to help a family, because that's something that's very important to me. Family is very important to me, and I'm sure family is very important to everybody out there, and they're ready to start their little family and they just need a little bit of help. So that's me. I'm the person that's willing to help and to give them hope. Sorry, my babies are sleeping, so if you hear them coughing or anything, they are a little sick. Next step after the video chat is to get medically cleared and legally cleared. So for medical clearance, you have to go, and I had to go to LA for the day. Me and my husband, they flew us out to LA because I needed to get blood work done at the facility where they are going to do the transfer. They needed their own records, so I had to fly out there, and I got blood work done, a lot of blood work. I got my uterus checked, my uterus lining, a little TMI, I got a pap smear done. I just had to go through, if I were to get pregnant by myself, I had to go through that and plus a little bit more steps just to make sure everything was good. So I didn't get legal clearance right away just because I did have to take a couple of vaccinations. So I did have to get 2 of those. I still have to get 1 more while I'm pregnant. And then I needed vitamin D, so I started taking over-the-counter vitamin D just to get that up a little bit more because I was very low. And then after that, I got my 2 vaccinations, I got my vitamin D up, and then they retested my blood a month later, which everything came back perfect. So after you get medically cleared, then you get contracts. So I got contracts sent to my email, and you go over them. My contract was 52 pages long, and it's just everything stating the surrogacy, the agency, the intended parents, both wife and husband, myself as a surrogate, and my husband as the surrogate's husband. So we go through contracts, we sign them, we get them notarized. After you get them notarized, then you scan them, you email them back, and then you also put them in an envelope and you send them back to the agency. So they have an attorney and I have my own attorney that they just legalized in. Sorry, I'm a little thirsty. So they just focus on surrogacy as their attorneys. That's what their job is to make sure everything is fair, and because inside of the agreement, the contract, I didn't agree to a little bit, like, because I have family that lives in Vegas, so I have to travel to go visit them eventually. So I had to change that a little bit, and just a little bit of things in the contract. You negotiate the contract, and then after it's all signed and notarized and sent back, then they take it to court and I get legal clearance. So I'm already legally cleared, and I am, medically cleared. So I'm already at the process. So after that, then you get your calendar. And your calendar is when you start taking your prenatals. You get off of the birth control, because I was on birth control for a couple of months. just to get everything, my period regulated and things like that. So now that I got my calendar, I am off the birth control, and I have started taking over-the-counter prenatal pills. And I also have been taking, what is it? I'm not really sure the name of it, but I have been taking some pills 4 times a day. Next is going to be the vaginal cream that you have to, it's a little TMI, but I start taking that in a couple days. And then after that, I start taking the shots. The shots would be 3 times a day, or 1 every 3 days. Yes, 1 every 3 days. I start taking that on November 10th, around November 10th, and then I do go outside clinics. So I have a clinic that I go to in Modesto, where they, every 2 Mondays, I go and get my uterus and my ovaries checked and my uterus lining checked to make sure everything is looking good for the procedure, which is the transfer. So I get that every 2 Mondays, and my blood work, and to make sure everything's up to date, that my pills are up to date, and that my hormones are up to date, and my prenatal pills are up to date. So I go 2 more times to the outside clinic, and I will post a little video. I did take a video of me at the clinic. I will post that up somewhere in the video. Hey guys, I'm over here waiting in the waiting room to go get seen today. Let's see if everything looks good with my blood work and my uterus lining checking today. It is October 28th. It's my baby's birthday today as well. And it is 7 o'clock. Let's see, super excited to check out what's the next steps and ready to get it started. Hey guys, so I am getting my checkup right now to see my uterus lining. Hope everything goes good. Super nervous every time I get one of these done, and then I go for my blood work soon. Alright, catch you guys later. So right now it is 7:38. I'm about to go get lab work. They told me my uterus lining looks good and my ovaries look good. So next step again is to get blood work. Hopefully my blood work comes out good. I will find out at the end of the day today, and I'll update you guys in a little bit. And then from there, I go again on the November 4th, and then I go again on November 11th, a day before the transfer, because I do have my transfer on November 13th. I am pretty far into my surrogacy journey. It's been a roller coaster already, and I haven't became pregnant yet. After my transfer, fingers crossed that I do get pregnant. I'm super excited, super nervous, but most of all, I'm super excited to start this journey and get it going, and super excited for the family that will soon be having a bundle of joy, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But yeah, those were my steps to becoming a surrogate. It was a little roller coaster to get everything done, but we got it done. I'm just now we're all just waiting for the transfer. Everyone is super excited. I have a really good support team at home and at the clinic. Super supportive. We keep in contact all the time. Me and the intended parents message back and forth. I've sent pictures over on the process of me getting blood work, me getting the ultrasounds and things like that. All we're waiting for now is just a transfer date to have the transfer and hopefully have a baby soon. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe and give this a big thumbs up. That will really help me. on my journey on YouTube and becoming a surrogate. I will be uploading every week. I'm trying to get better at it. I hope I am getting better at it. Please give me a comment down below if you think I'm getting better. And yeah, thank you for watching.